Rest of it down sound on a lot. The reason I went to school.
Ladies and gentlemen, Siouxland United FC would like to welcome you here to the live broadcast for today's match of the 2026 NPSL North Conference Playoffs in premier partnership with Remax, Ho Chunk Capital, the YMCA, Thrive Health, and all our other critical sponsors. More on them in a little while. It's high noon here at Bishop Elo Memorial Field as your outlaws stare into the eyes of the loose blue greens, hands hovering at their side as it all comes down to this. In 90 minutes, the 2026 NPSL World Conference champion will be named. One will stand and one will fade to the dust as the killing blow is made. Who will be riding into the sunset as a victor? There is only one way to find out. It's the last match, the last shot, and the last stand for one of these two teams' seasons. As always, my name is JD and Morrow. Join me is the one and only Alex Schuler. Alex, how you feeling for today's final stand?
Yeah, obviously, I'm, going to state the obvious to start this off. Big match here. One team season will end today, and it's kind of the matchup everyone saw coming in the North Conference. Both these teams tied the previous two regular season matchups this year. Of, you got kind of the new power and Siouxland United Outlaws here. Kind of making their mark, and then kind of the long-standing established power, the Duluth Blue Greens, matching up. So, kind of a little budding rivalry, you could say, JD, and we're excited to get going.
So, for today's pretty early match compared to most of the seasons, normally we're starting off at 6 o'clock, but now here we are at high noon. But, what a way to close off the 2025 NPSL Conference Championship as the Duluth Blue Greens are wearing white today, and your Outlaws are in sport their home bright orange.
Yeah.
Should be pretty good for in terms of
Definitely. And yeah, you see both teams trying to wear the lightest colors they possibly could today, and both teams executed it with no uniform conflict, JD. So, and as you can see, both teams swap sides there to start off, as the Blue Greens in white will be attacking left to right, as the Outlaws will be attacking right to left. And we'll go through the starters here very quickly here. For your Duluth Blue Greens, you have number 3, Joseph Wilson, number 4, the captain, Nathan Porter, number 5, Jacob Wiles, number 6, Paul Size, number 7, Akeem Suleimana, number 8, Matias Gomez, number 9, Seth Davidson, number 10, Kenny Vertel Dorius, number 11, Joao Magallanes, number 17, Jacob Cervantes, and number 26, Augustin Warud. And then for your home-standing Siouxland United Outlaws, you have in goalkeeper number 66 Foster, right back Kushida, center back pairing of Abdallah, number 3, and Sasaki, number 44. Sakaguchi will be slotting in at left back, number 29. Two center midfielders will be Jason Spencer and Myler, number 6 and 15, respectively. Ikegami and Mifone, number 16 and 10, will be in the attacking mid positions. And then leading the line will be number 9, Urakami, and Sakurai, number 18 and 9. So, yeah, as I was saying, should be a very tense matchup. Both teams, yeah, like we said, tied the previous two matchups this year. And, with this being a round of 16 game North Conference Championship game, there is a possibility of, if it is tied after 90 minutes, JD, we will be playing extra soccer or football.
starting off in a pretty hot mission. Both just dismissed. I think a pretty tough fumble there. Still in the back right as the whistle was blown. That's sweet summer sun is unforgiving today as it is a balmy 85 degrees Fahrenheit, 29.5 degrees Celsius. Will be joining us outside of the States here as we attack up the right side here, just far misplaced. When it rolled out of play, slowly but surely, as you know, as the wickets.
Yeah, and it's something, JD, for those that remember the match here a couple weeks ago that we broadcasted and brought to you. It was a cagey matchup, not a lot of chances either way. Both teams really kind of battled it out in the midfield. There wasn't really, either team didn't really create consistent quality chances in front of goal. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see the adjustments the coaching staffs have made, or on the fly potentially as well, either before game or after game. As Mafone gets in here very dangerously, and looks like the Outlaws win a corner here early on. JD.
Quick shot, sponsors. They know soccer, drilling dreams on footwork. Adidas, Garrett, fast, French, and fierce. Fritz Sue helping Slim is a vital animal that holds ownership and plays asset management for smart investment. It's outlaw hustle. Thank you to those guys for sponsoring us next season, along with our triple date gates, volunteer security team, and media staff for making the event possible. We couldn't do it without you.
Dangerous ball, and Abdallah almost flicks it on to Sasaki there. JD is maybe a step away from the center backs combining on the attacking chance there off the set piece.
So now I'm looking at the Siouxland FC Instagram page, which you can follow anytime. And the last time these two teams faced off on June 19th, the final score was 0-0. So hopefully not having a repeat of that here tonight as get off the head. That was that one. Yeah, from situations. Under pressure, dropping bucks.
Yeah, brilliant there from Sakurai to get out a little bit of pressure there, and it'll be interesting to see if like I said, the Outlaws tweak anything from that last matchup. Where they're creating overloads. How they want to press the Blue Greens and stuff like that. Obviously, Bishop Elam Memorial Field isn't the widest field to play soccer on, so the use of space and how both teams decide to manage it, I think is going to be a massive aspect of today's game. Is a great touch from the Blue Greens there, number 8 Gomez. Did very well to get the ball wide there, JD.
Especially the way about the 35 line, a little bit of recoil right to say that, setting up the right side on the 15-yard line. People cross the middle and just off the left foot there of Sasaki. Sasaki becomes as a
It looks like the AR overruled the center ref for a corner kick here, JD. Outlaws didn't look too happy with that call, but we play on.
team partner. Liberty Championship service on and off the pitch, Hotel Capital, investing in stronger Siouxland and stronger Outlaws. But ongoing junior YMCA private teams I play with the top shape on the field and in the gym and Thrive Health. Every team behind them.
Ooh, the Outlaws get away with one there. Is wide open on the back post. Major let off for the Outlaws.
Was not here. Back to Sasaki.
Yeah, and that was going back to that chance, JD. That's a worrying sign for the Outlaws there. If the Blue Greens are that open on the back post, just a misplaced header. He didn't have anyone within 5 yards of him, and that's something the coaching staff will probably look to rectify here pretty quickly. Yeah. Yeah, as a coach, that kind of drives me a bit insane. So I can only imagine how much it's driving Coach Alex Trent.
Coach Trent is bucket hat. First time actually being a little worried. Although I will question the validity of long sleeves.
Yeah, I mean, one thing to take into consideration too, usually during the nighttime kickoffs we have here is, the sun plays more of a linear factor, you could say, with one team always looking into it. So that's kind of out of play today, unless you get a high ball up into it, potentially. But yeah, that's another factor. It is a unique kickoff time, but it's, like I always tell people, both teams got to play on the same field, same time, same day. So, both teams have to deal with that. Looked like he was offsides there potentially.
About the 35-yard line. Almost there for a quick short pass there.
Is the Blue Greens really looking to switch the point of attack here to unbalance the Outlaws?
Back to the left side there. We'll back full shoot. And Foley if they putting the pressure on.
Yeah, and like I remember from last time, Suleiman will be a dangerous man on the ball, number 7 for the Blue Greens as the Outlaws play quickly through. Just a bit offsides. He had an opportunity there. He just took that extra touch. He just needs to play it.
Outlaws end up here in the box plus
Yeah, and it's just one of those things. You just got to trust yourself. Play that through ball. Give your teammate the opportunity because that was a dangerous moment for the Outlaws. They're looking to get these 2v2s, the 2 strikers versus the 2 blue-green center backs, and they're getting that matchup here early on, so they got to take advantage of that.
Spencer. High or out. And then you're under how you feel a little bit of pressure off following the Blue Greens. Kind of a misplaced pass, but down.
Ikagami, a very clever player on the ball, and those that were with us earlier this week know he was involved in a lot of good things in the midfield, JD.
there's also the game. So let's say English. Spencer. Left side, and it's going to just roll out of play there. And so we're a comedy. Try to chase it down the Outlaws. Yeah, we get past her. We're getting off to Sam Davidson. Back with soccer. Third question. Awesome. Says to go way up the pitch on the right side.
Fantastic touch. He's in. Oh,
Offside call. Definitely not a call we're liking up here in the box center of the audience. Co-organizer Adam Dean definitely I shouldn't get a call.
yeah. And one positive sign though from that JD is the Outlaws have had 2-3 quick counterattacking chances like that. So that is a good sign, despite it not working out here. The strikers are being able to combine and get forward. And that's another option with obviously playing the two up top. If the Blue Greens do send outside backs forward, defensive mids forward, you have that opportunity to play 2v2. And Urakami and Sakurai have the pace and the technical ability to combine and maybe get some quality out of those moments. Fantastic play there from Kushida.
The right side. Nice header, but just this place touched it. There you go. We'll have to get to it. Redirecting here back and forth. Backward. Siouxland for the Greens. Short pass. Middle. Pressure, nice control. Which will have to maintain too well, but fortunately, it's probably like that.
Blue Greens wanted a foul there. Definitely a intense game to start here tonight, or today, excuse me, JD.
Quite.
Yeah, we got to switch the T words today, my friend. That's an amazing ball by Spencer. Can Kushida get in? Good no call from the referee there on the 50-50. Just lacking that final balls. Kushida's played well for the Outlaws lately in that right back role, and that's a fantastic, look and moment. And, early in the game here, it does look like the Blue Greens, their method of attack is mostly switching the point of attack, across the length of the pitch. And the Outlaws are looking to go forward a lot more quickly, I feel like, than the last time these two teams matched up, JD.
Coach Strick kind of expressed this to me after last game here, where the Outlaw just had this type of problem of each individual player being incredible. Just finding those combinations that really jive well has been really a problem for this team across the entirety of the season.
Yeah, as a coach, that'd be a great quote unquote problem to have, like we were discussing with him. But yeah, and that's the important thing. It's all about those relationships and what players play well together in certain situations that, obviously, yeah, make the difference in these type matchups. And, I know he was having a good think about it, but so far, the Outlaws have looked dangerous going forward. Got away with, like we said, that one chance is a great tackle there. I think the referee's doing fantastic letting both the teams play right now and let the boys decide it on the field, I'd say, JD. Myler there took it over from him. The counter pressing from the Outlaws looks fantastic right now, JD. Every time they lose the ball, they're swarming it, trying to get it back from Duluth, and that's definitely a change from, I think, the previous matchup.
Barely one step ahead in terms of the ball. So we are only 11 minutes into the match, so plenty of time here to have game fluctuation both sides.
Looked like Davison straight a step off sides, but referee saw it differently. Davidson. Who's Davidson? He's their 9. Order.
Just pulled it when I saw white for it.
Yeah, like I said, we're not used to this kickoff time, folks. So the angles, the sunlight's different for us as well as the players. Is a great win there from Sasaki. Shot goes a bit wayward there, JD.
Robert Foster, let's see probably think they do. Of course, right as I see the short pass over to left out. Sometimes I wonder if they can hear us from here on Saturdays.
Yeah, it definitely looks like the Blue Greens are defending almost in a 4-1-4-1 system to try and stop the Outlaws from playing through those lines. Obviously, having some nice compact groups of four there. As Spencer with another look long, just can't quite connect. And that great touch there from number 10 on the Blue Greens. Apologies if I'm not saying the name correctly. I'll leave that one to JD.
And it's like it's gonna be Gucci. Short pass. I looking for like a nice little catch there from our guy. A bit of back and forth as it falls to the hands of the Blue Greens. So going around to the right side. So handle it. Wall with the pitcher right with Robert Foster.
Yeah, and as we were saying, folks, obviously postseason play today, one team will advance, one team season will end. This is the de facto round of 16, similar to what the World Cup had earlier this week. So the winner of this game will move on to the final eight. There is a possibility based on what other results happen here in the next 24 to 30-ish hours that the Outlaws could potentially host another game or two based on how things fall. But obviously none of it matters if you don't get a result today, JD.
She played it pretty well, which it falls down.
It looked a little bit from behind, and you hope he's not injured any worse. It did look like he took a hit on the head there, got sandwiched a little bit by a couple Blue Greens players. As Coach Trent's asking the question of the fourth official fairly, I would say.
With right to left side, will play on top of the right. Right as society takes it with the pitch. Back to Sabatis. Feeling help after right side, left side for a short pass.
And it really looks like Urakami's pushing up here high for the Outlaws, trying to play on that. Those vertical balls look to combine with his other attackers and really put pressure on the back line. It was just overplayed for Cervantes there.
Same problem I had last time. It's not. It's a good listen now. Put your pitches.
Yeah, but it's been a long season for us too in the box, JD. There's bound to be some mistakes from us as well as on the field.
AC up here.
As a referee lets that one go as well as that. Even from here, even as an Outlaw fan, that did look like Abdul clipped him a little bit as well and potentially left his feet, got away with one there, but the Outlaws will play on. I will say that the referee is being a little bit consistent with both the challenges either way, so players have to adjust to those situations.
Jets. 60 Outlaws. Basically, I'm forward, like, fence hitting a rock from that football here.
Yeah, the only concern you have with the referee letting that much go in a tense game like this early is where does it go from there? That's the thing you got to be concerned about. The game doesn't get out of hand because he's letting them play a little bit more.
So, Susan has spoken possibly listening to any of these players. Because my turn heads.
And I will say, other than that open header, maybe 2-3 minutes in, the Outlaws have probably had slightly the better balance of play, I'd say, so far. With moments like this, obviously the strikers combining as referee again letting him play. It's, both benches are starting to get furious here, and you got to wonder when he's going to start to use his whistle today. Because you rarely see Coach Trent this animated at the officials, and he's having a right go at him, and as the Blue-Green staff was having with the last tackle. Yeah.
Kind of mistouched. Yeah. I saw when he was going for this version of that direction.
Yeah. Great win from Sasaki there.
Sasaki. Absolutely. That sure gives it to the cat. Oh. Dallas feeling no pressure whatsoever. A bit of a forward pass there.
Great forward run there from the Outlaws. Just couldn't quite connect. Got to be a better final ball. Good win there by Mailer, the player out of Italy, as Spencer tries to play through the lines. Well done by Ikegami. Referee had to use his whistle there since a player fell on the ball.
So, you got me next to
Yeah, it's one of those days. If some of these Outlaws players in the box have played on turf in these hot conditions, and I know it kind of does burn up your feet sometimes.
About the 45 line in the Marines territory as few pitches later to stroking for me.
Lofts it up a bit too much air under that, though. That's kind of an easy one there for the goalkeeper for the Blue Greens. Kind of a waste of an attack there as Warud comes out and gets it, number 26. Good little play there from the Blue Greens. Ball stays in play. Can the Outlaws attack while they're unbalanced now, JD? Just got to play a bit quicker there. Great step there from Kushida. Just that final ball again, JD.
Similar match, similar problems when we saw last time the two teams matched up. And the Blue Greens did like heavily maintain percentage. You have to throw the last touch out. Last pass kind of
Yep.
no pressure with a session. Just these small little mistakes we can cause them hold up to as well.
As the Blue Greens looking to go a little bit more direct now to push higher up the field.
Always Casita. She always sign.
Looks like there's a couple little tactical changes with moving some players around for the Blue Greens, and he appears to be in here. The Outlaws do. Looks like Sakurai bodied off it a little bit, but squirts through. Just a touch away. Mapome. Another block. Outlaws hold it in. Ikegami with a great touch, and that has to be a foul. Great little period of sustained pressure there, though, from the Outlaws, JD.
Sakurai have a Bakers. State art for the back lap, Joseph Wilson. And they forged your brand.
Yeah, and it was key there for your Sakurai, staying with that ball, keeping it alive, and 2-3 good chances, forcing the Blue Greens into a block or two, and very, very dangerous chance. And as we were saying, the last matchup was a 0-0 draw, so set pieces are going to be a major, major factor, I think, in this match. The Blue Greens missed a wide open header earlier in the match. So can the Outlaws take advantage of maybe their most dangerous set piece to date?
Pretty solid achievements here.
Off the bar, and then the follow-up header just missed. Two dangerous chances in one there, JD.
Spencer. Was it?
No, that looked to be Urakami, the striker, just put it a bit over. Yep. No, and once again,
Something you don't want to see out. Like I said, you have to turn this year, just put it away.
Yeah, but these are good signs from the Outlaws here, getting the ball forward, getting these flick-ons, and you got 4 players forward here. Can they combine?
Side. Judy puts it in. Off the head of the goalkeeper. The defense able to get away. Still, it's the same pressure here. Outlaws. Another cut.
Great ball in.
Or back. Spencer does not win the header there, but where's the call?
Referee starting to use the whistle a little bit now, and probably the right call there. It did look like Spencer got a little bit undercut, and the Outlaws really, really trying to get some momentum here. They've had this elongated period now, I'd say, of sustained possession. So can they make it pay off, though? Turning the screw, you could say, JD, a little bit here.
Outlaws once again find themselves with a free kick. Dave shot shooting right at the line in Blue Green's territory.
Looks to be a deeper service here, trying to find a teammate. And again, just a bit of a wasted, lofted free kick there. Those are going to be the easiest balls to come claim for a goalkeeper. Swinging into you, you're not under any real pressure. Yeah, the Outlaws got to make this pressure pay. They've been on top here probably the last 5, 10 minutes significantly, really taking it to the Blue Greens. And when you're playing a quality team like the Blue Greens, you have to take your chances when they come.
Back. Wow. Back on the left side. Footer up the pitch. Opportunity here for Porter.
And it does look like the Blue Greens are moving around several attacking players. I'll hold that thought here.
Sakurai chasing down.
It looks like Size there putting the pressure on. But as I was saying, if you're watching the game along with us, as we have a nice little match break, like getting our World Cup fix on before the games later. But as I was saying, Sulemana did start on the left side. Now he's on the right side for the Blue Greens. You got Verto, how do you say the last name, JD? I don't want to keep butchering it all day for the fans at home. Number 10 for the Blue Greens. Votu Doloris. He's kind of moved to an attacking mid, both played on the left and right side, and then you got Size kind of moving around as well. Beautiful thing about our match breaks, though, we do not go to commercial like Fox, so we'll be here, through all the 2-3 minutes with you guys, more so like the Telemundo broadcasts. But yeah, as we were saying, Blue Green's moving some players around in that attacking areas, trying to find the right combination to get out. The Outlaws have had the more dangerous chances, I'd say, so far, but it's something, yeah, you got to make these chances pay. And, as you've seen in the World Cup, sometimes momentum does change greatly after these moments. It was unfortunate the Outlaws couldn't get a goal before that break, and now I would not be shocked if the Blue Greens make some adjustments and kind of change the flow of this game.
Speaking of, it's really interesting seeing these teams really change their layout so quickly. Sure, they're 24th. Oh, first half. Now entering the second quarter. Yeah. Figured which of the insurance team discovers Phil Schuster driving excellence from the highway to Fitch. Campbell's Electric powering our nights on with lights. Trunk roofing, keeping the demons solid overhead. Rain or shine. And Quality IT, keeping our tech sharp at defense. As for sponsoredness this season. Defense is sharp today, Alex, but thankfully, like you said, not something I had used too much of. That was not so I've definitely been taking some pressure that things over the last 5-7 minutes, I would say.
Definitely. And, on the note about having the support of the community and, kind of the key about being the 1 seed, as the Outlaws are having that home field advantage, the crowd has trickled in here today with the bit earlier kickoff. We got some drums in the stands, some good vibes. Hopefully that can spur the Outlaws to a good result today.
It's always good to see that. It's always good to see you sitting here watching us rambling on the broadcast as we're getting set here for the end of the break.
For sure.
To find the ball.
Foster's got it, JD.
It's right in the line of vision of my pole.
I got you. So Foster with the goal kick. It looks like he will be playing long this time. I'll give you the assist on this broadcasting note, JD. We're a team up here, just like there's teams all over the field and, behind the scenes as well for the Outlaws. I've gotten some good comments, but, we're far from perfect.
I think it's Telemundo broadcasters, the Field Club on Fox broadcasters, and maybe a couple guys in us somewhere. As we got a 2 kicks off the head of the Blue Greens.
Yeah, and we're hopeful we have the opportunity to be with you here for more games down the road. And, if the Outlaws can get the win and results go our way, we might have some more soccer here at Bishop Hela Memorial Field the rest of the summer to commentate on. Yes. Yeah, what most people don't get is they probably convinced us just saying, hey, their press box is air conditioned. So, yeah, we've been fortunate enough earlier in the year the weather was a bit cooler, but yeah, it's definitely the dog days of summer have hit here with this July heat, JD.
Stickiness, which is
Yep.
honestly the worst part.
Speaking of stickiness, the Blue Green just stick the ball out for a corner here, JD, and we'll lead into some sponsors for you.
This hometown, for sure. Mike Burkhouse is going to help us out. I want you guys. But again, we're at a time. Fivercom, I'm on. Streams and highlight reels. Stony Creek Hotel, where our guests rest like champions, and Chesterton's empowering hydration heroes of the sideline.
And those food advertisements hit different at about 12:30 on a Saturday, JD. Even with some, yes. Good ball and just another missed header from Murakami there. The first one off the free kick, you can't really fault him. That was a quick reaction moment. But got free again as the Blue Greens let off a little bit there. Is worst case scenario, you have to put that on frame. And I know Murakami, he's been playing well for the Outlaws lately. He's getting his chances. It's just about putting it away in the big moments.
Acres of rain, pressure, which is something you don't want to see.
Yep.
Fans, right?
Yeah, and that's something to the execution too. He's not the biggest guy, but Coach Trent drew up something to get him free on the back post, and maybe that's something they look to exploit here as Sakurai puts a press on. A great little step there from the left back, Sakaguchi.
Cross on the left side, changing from sides. Wilson moves it, keeping on the left side, and we're now with Gomes. Little feels the pressure and loses the ball to Manfone. Manfone, right side, just has to bring it back.
Yeah, and you can see the Blue Greens have dropped their line a little bit to prevent this, but the Outlaws in. Gets a chance and just misses it. Sakurai there playing off the shoulder as a defender as the Outlaws are repeatedly knocking at the door. They just can't break through right now, JD. And as we were saying, in the broadcast Wednesday night, the Outlaws are looking to make history. Last year they won this game. But the unique thing was, yes, it was, we won the postseason title. This year we're going for both the regular season and the postseason title, which would be a first in club history. And then also to do it here at Bishop Healy Memorial Field. Those of you that remember last year, we had to move the game to South Sioux City High School on the south side of the metro. Still a great facility and took care of the Outlaws well, but would be something special to win it here as well, JD.
We love it, George.
Yep. And if I remember correctly, we had to be DJ, PA announcers, and the online stream.
Play music, commentate, and that's all. I was jumping back and forth with the grasshopper.
Yep. Enjoyable night though, seeing the Outlaws lift the trophy and yep, something you want to see again.
Point spot. Passes up to Sasaki. Side screen around to Abdallah. Abdallah acres space. Decides to use it right up here with Spencer. Spencer, a little pressure. Feels the fall there from size. No call was made.
Looks like the referee does eventually make a call. Yeah. And like I said, that's what you got to worry about, though. He didn't blow the whistle early on, so now the challenges are going to come in harder from both teams in an intense game like this. And you gotta worry about manage the game in that regard. You don't want to get hurt as a player in a game of this magnitude. Definitely, yeah. With a lot of these players for the Outlaws playing collegiately, either in the area, the Midwest. A lot of players that play at the NJCA level, and that division will start training here pretty soon, August 1st, for those players.
Spencer, license. I don't know how many.
It got me frustrated. He couldn't settle that. Spencer with a great step there. Spencer has been a solid fixture in the midfield here lately for the Outlaws. Oh, can the Outlaws make this pay? Mapome just a loose touch, and this is a dangerous moment here as number 11, Magalis, is through for the Blue Greens. Almost a tackle there. And unfortunately, the ball goes in for the Blue Greens as it's 1-0. And that's what I was saying, JD. The Outlaws have all these chances and cannot put it away. Number 11, Joao Magalis, looks to get on the goal there.
30-second.
Magalis. Yeah, and that's what I was saying, JD. The Outlaws have had probably three, four times the better chances to the Blue Greens. And when you're playing in a tight championship match like that, not taking your chances, will could come back to bite you. And it was that one ball over the top. The Blue Greens played right on the line, and he did well to ride two challenges. It did look like Sasaki potentially clipped him, and then Foster came out, did all he can, looked like he clipped him. It would have probably been a penalty if he went down, but credit to him, he stayed on his feet and put the ball away.
First goal and how really magnified and kind of
Yeah,
it's just as bad here, if not worse.
in a title game. Yeah. Yeah, but credit to the player. He stayed on the feet, got clipped by a couple players, and was strong enough to put that chance in. And how the Outlaws react now will be everything. As we said earlier in the year, these games have been tight. They've both been draws. So it's, all about a positive reaction now from the Outlaws. As I was saying too, the water breaks, the match breaks can kind of change things as well. As you see, Blue Greens made some adjustments yeah, the Outlaws just couldn't put away a goal when they were on top. Yeah, but we were talking with Coach Alex Trent. The one nice thing about his roster is he does have some quality players on the bench who can come in and change it. A lot of guys who started matches earlier in the year. He got Ogawa, Inagaki, who's come on. Inagaki came on last game and was fantastic for the Outlaws. That's maybe someone you're looking to kind of change the momentum and scoreline in this game. You got the captain from earlier in the year, Yali Cohen. Yeah, so it'll be interesting what the coaching staff looks to do now and what adjustments will be made. Is that a deliberate play on the ball? Don't believe so, as the referee lets it play on. Great block there from the left back Sakaguchi. This was kind of the same period the other night, JD, where the Outlaws kind of let their level drop about 10 minutes right before halftime, right?
Like we're saying, that's what guys are coach round games. All these games are at some match or all substance, right? So traditions happen to changes them over into one half of the first half.
Looked like a handball there. Referee just decided not to call it. But yeah, as I was saying, in the other night, in their 4-1 semifinal win versus the Blizzard, this was the period where the game was 1-1 for a little bit for the Outlaws. Seems to be maybe about that 10 to 12 minute period before halftime. It's probably the weakest point in the last couple of games that we've seen. And the Blue Greens came out, made an adjustment, and yeah, the Outlaws, got away with another chance there for the Blue Greens as well. It was a great block in there by Sakaguchi. And yeah, the Blue Greens are having some success playing over the top to Davidson, playing over the top to Magalis, have two pacey wingers in Sulemana and Vertel. But yeah, it's definitely a unique situation for the Outlaws to be in, being the host and being down 1-0.
Just that pass.
Yeah.
Movies. That's a lot of pressure.
So Blue Green just looked to be growing in confidence too, and that goal only made it even more apparent, JD.
That pressure. That's my movies. Short pass outside. The Sakura just not so player once again. Movies on big one also to reach 46 minutes. First half. That's continues to says.
Yeah. And as we've said, we thank everyone joining us on the live stream. Obviously, being able to bring this to you is obviously not available without all the great sponsors Siouxland United FC has, right, JD? Might be a new record. We'll have to confirm with owner Adam Dean to see. Yeah, we'll get you those numbers at halftime, folks. But keep telling your friends we want to try and break that record today and make some history. The only nice thing about joining us, JD, is you can sit and watch it in the AC. Can we get some service in though? The Outlaws got to get some momentum here. The Blue Greens seem to have just about all of it right now as they're playing very direct and through and looking to hold his run. Is a great switch of play here, and here's a danger man in space, Sulemana going at Kushida. Another great diagonal ball, and the Blue Greens have kind of changed their switching the ball flat to more of a diagonal direct approach here, and it's really cutting the Outlaws open here a little bit, JD. Something they got to sort out. And as probably about 10 minutes total here left in your first half, folks, with I'm guessing about 2-3 minute stoppages with the match break and obviously the goal. So, these 10 minutes are very key, as we talk about every game, goals change games. The moments before and after halftime can significantly change the game. 5-10 minutes before halftime is obviously a big moment. And, because if the Blue Greens go and get a second goal here, that completely really strengthens their grip on the game. But if the Outlaws can go steal one before halftime, it basically makes it a 45-minute match then, JD. McCormick, great touch. Ooh.
Slide right there.
Blue Green's not happy about that, and yeah, definitely didn't look like a good moment there for the goalkeeper to deal with. As that was brave goalkeeping as well from Ward, I will say, with the player sliding in there, being brave, going to get the ball. That's one of those both players have to go for. Referee probably rightly yellow cards it just because it was late. Strong goalkeeping though from the Blue Greens though, and um, as Urakami gets on in the score sheet in the stat book for the wrong reason since he's missed a couple chances today, JD. Yep. And good to see that Ward's doing all right there. Looked like he might have got bumped on the head, but looks to be fine. That's something you really don't want to see in a game like this, JD.
Right side that's flat. It's not hurts. Well, it's flat. As he's down, he puts pressure in. With himself a whistle.
Ikegami looks a little bit frustrated there. Probably the right call, though. It did look like he went in a little bit behind, but Blue Greens will take their time here, try and get at least the game to halftime.
Right side.
Clever little ball there.
Till.
Great play from Abdallah. Can the Outlaws go forward now? Just struggling to unbalance the Blue Greens a little bit here in the midfield third. The Blue Greens are staying very organized, very compact, suffocating kind of the Outlaws midfielders from getting to play through the lines, obviously forcing guys like Abdullah to step up here as a center back and the Outlaws to play these longer balls and almost a fantastic balls. Great defending there from the captain Porter. That is, being a defender myself in years gone by, that is not an easy ball to deal with, JD. You're a right winger? I would not have predicted that, JD.
Scores 4.
Dang, all right. Yes.
Shoot, left side here. Sure coming.
No, that's Kushida. He made an adventure clear to the left side. Myler just hits it wide with his weak foot, and the whole time he was just looking to get a shot off there. Sorry for missing that, folks. I had to stand up. Someone put an umbrella right in my way there. Yes. Can't blame him, obviously. It is a very warm day here at Bishop Hela Memorial Field.
Can't wait to get into locker out of this shade before we first met.
Because the Outlaws kind of have lost what we saw earlier in the game, them being able to play it forward here to the two strikers, get the first and second ball and go forward. That's maybe something they'll look to get back as Abdul's got to bring it down here. Unfortunate clearance there for Foster, and that'll just give some more momentum to the Blue Greens to know that they can potentially get after the Outlaws a little bit.
Perfect. Something I ask this as well is just Duluth moving it to maintain sort of a momentum after that goal, before they go no teams and honestly here, even in favor of the Outlaws, it's very much the Siouxland now that we're down 1-0. I think Blue Jays just not ready to a short pass. Jacob Cervantes. Yeah. Goal is pressure. Is it up? Left side on the attack. Short dangerous. Oh,
Blue Greens barely miss another header and again, Sulemana, very dangerous player in those wide areas. He was almost unopposed, and as we were saying, these are kind of seen a trend here with these 10 minutes before halftime still being kind of the weakest moment for the Outlaws. And Coach Trent will be hoping he can get the boys in the locker room, make some adjustments, and obviously rectify some of these issues that we're seeing.
just a conversation in the locker room, Alex. You get off the head trouble grabbing it.
Ikagami trying to run through. Yeah, and those were the situations the Outlaws were winning earlier in the game. As now they're just not going their way, JD. Great play there from the Blue Greens, I will say. Very dangerous moment here, JD.
Dollar right there with short pass.
Size doesn't hold his line, and that's a huge let off for the Outlaws. As it almost looked like Davidson could have slotted him in earlier. He looked to be on with a better angle, but he just waited. And fortunately for the Outlaws, Size strayed a little bit offsides.
Keeping the score here. Score. As fast here, kids and play up the pitch. Fools off the hill. Besides, see the other face addresses.
Sorry, JD, that's why we're a team up here. At least the numbers are easy to read tonight. White on orange and navy on white. So yeah, it could be more tricky. So I know a college coach who started a program up here unfortunately made numbers really hard to see on his first couple years kits, so we won't make that mistake again. With white on a light green. Yeah, 4-year coaches weren't too happy with someone when they were trying to recruit some people. So fantastic little ball there. Is referee does fantastic there for the Outlaws. Is did look a little bit soft in admitting it, but we might be a little bit biased up here, and we'll take it as Outlaws fans. Yes. And that's what I was talking about earlier in the game. It's, maybe the referees retroactively being a little bit tighter since he wasn't super tight in the first 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes with those calls, JD. Definitely. Those are about 15 seconds away from first half stoppage time. And can the Outlaws make the game level here? Big moment here.
Definitely keep that was.
It was a bit better ball than the earlier ones, but it definitely seems like they're just lofting those balls in too much, giving the goalkeeper Waru time to go get it. And he's been brave at those, just comes out, gathers, and releases the pressure for the Blue Greens.
Alex. Has been maybe actually Sasha, right side of formally trying to get up here on stoppage time.
Danger man right there if he can keep going. Great defenders from the Blue Greens. And once again, probably the right call there is Mafome clipped the Blue Greens defender there as he was dispossessed as well. He was playing the ball, so obviously nothing more than just a normal foul, but he did clip the Blue Greens defender there as they'll take their time here trying to keep their 1-0 lead into halftime now that we've hit the 45th minute.
Looking really deep down the pitch.
And you would imagine there's going to be my prediction's about 3 minutes of stoppage time. We haven't seen an indication from the center ref yet. Up to him is great ball there as Urakami just cannot gather it there. Urakami's at an eventful half right now, JD.
Oh. We should definitely back to cost. Imagine how it's the Outlaws just in a 6 ball in the back of the net. Themselves in a locker room doing the second half.
A terrible giveaway there from Sasaki. These are the danger moments. Blue Greens have been fantastic in these transition moments going forward quickly as referee calls the first foul. Looks like Porter was down there. Looked like Porter got clipped as the Blue Greens won the foul. Yeah. Yeah, and like I've said, the Outlaws cannot give up another goal and go down 2-0 here. So very, very dangerous set piece here as the Outlaws look to prepare for their halftime talk with a couple coaches headed down to the locker room already.
Count on the foot of I think the goal scorer after all.
It's definitely a yeah, Spencer cleverly baited the Blue Greens player to go through his back there. Blue Greens aren't happy with it, but kind of the textbook foul you have to do to release pressure as a defensive mid. Spoken like a true defensive mid here on the mic. Yeah, the guys that clip you from behind are never happy, but I was a right back going on an adventure here. Looks like Kushida. Can the Outlaws steal one here before halftime, JD? But gotta have good service. Great ball in. Oh, as Mapome just scuffs his lines. Fantastic little play from Mapome and Kushida, and that's kind of what you saw in the first half last game, right? Against the Blizzard, that right side, you had Kushida, Mapome trying to create overloads, and that was a fantastic little ball there. And gosh, that would have been a big, big, big moment to make it 1-1 here right before probably the referee blows the halftime whistle, but we play on.
In terms of things you want to see, opportunities and pretty much almost capitalize on options like that. If people want to see Spencer runs on the left side, takes a shove from behind or off of Nathan Porter.
Let's say Gomez.
His numbers 4 is going to get me.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, yeah, Spencer just kind of baits the defender and he doesn't have many options. It's, almost one of those textbook professional ways to earn a foul. And can the Outlaws make that pay? You would have to imagine this has to be the last kick of the ball. Has to be the last kick of the ball this half. Great goalkeeping there from Ward. Again, man has been very brave today in net and gets his team to halftime. And your halftime score right now, 1-0. The 2-seed Blue Greens lead the 1-seed Siouxland United Outlaws. So, yeah, definitely a key half here coming up is, like I said during the broadcast, the Outlaws didn't take their chances when they were on top, obviously, but, it's something where, yeah, we obviously, got to make some adjustments and then go from there, JD.
Plus, they maintain that something to handle. Let's make it first half. Chris goal came back. It's kind of really shifted all into their favor. So it's interesting to see how the Outlaws are going to adapt for the second half, and we'll see if the Blue Jays decide to keep on doing what they're doing or try to adapt along with them. 15 minutes here and a half, so please stick around. Here at Memorial Field, and we'll be right back. During this break in the action, we'd like to thank our primary sponsors whose unwavering support powers the Outlaws. Thank you to Remax Experience, our premier team partner delivering championship service on and off the pitch. Ho-Chunk Capital investing in a stronger Siouxland and stronger Outlaws. The Runway Junior YMCA, proud to keep our players in top shape on the field and in the gym. Thrive Health, the recovery team behind every comeback. We also have to thank our supporting sponsors. Thank you to Perspective Insurance, keeping us covered so we can focus on covering the field. Schuster, driving excellence from the highway to the pitch. Campbell's Electric, powering our nights under the lights. Shrunk Roofing, keeping things solid overhead, rain or shine. Gold Kick Soccer, fueling dreams and footwork. Adidas, gear that keeps us fast, fierce, and fresh. Red Sue, helping the Stewlanders say goodbye to landlords and hello to ownership. Play Asset Management, where smart investing meets outlaw hustle. Get Brandon 360, outfitting champions from head to toe. Red Sprinting, making it bold, loud, and always in style. Go Passage, your ticket to outlaw madness. Quality IT, keeping our tech a sharp alert defense. Mike Murphy, our legal and outlaw advocate. Wells Blue Bunny, sweet treats and hometown heat. La Juanita's, fueling the fans one burrito at a time. Fibercom, and I'm on. Lightning Fast Internet for game day streams and highlight reels. Stony Creek Hotel, where our guests rest like champions. Chesterman's and Powerade, hydration heroes of the sideline. iHeartMedia, blasting outlaw pride across the airwaves. Specialized Concrete, laying the groundwork for success. Rad LLC, investment savvy with outlaw spirit. Savvy, helping our fans plan their retirement with flair. Restart Properties, creating space for champions to live. Bear Day Outdoors, where green spaces meet outlaw energy. Wait, Western Rentals, your go-to for everything event. Le Better Than Mar Bar and Grill, where victory tastes like tacos. Big picture entertainment, big screens, big vibes, big wins. Hamilton Touchless Car Wash, keeping the team dry shining. Don Anna's Luncheria food truck, bringing flavor to every corner of the pitch. And Aiden Alvarado with our host families, the heart and home behind our club. We'd also like to thank our game day crew, volunteers, security team, and media staff. And we'd also like to thank all the fans in the stands and you for joining us here at our broadcast. The game is just out of the same without you here. From all of us here at Siouxland FC, thank you. here to Bishop Hill Memorial Field for the second half of the 2026 Conference playoffs game between your Siouxland United Outlaws and the Duluth. For those of you missed the first half of the match, and what it's screen, it is currently what
And the Blue Greens doing the PSG high pressing kickoff is we're going right away, JD. No delay, my friend. Yeah, and as we said, it's obviously a title game. So as the score currently stands right now, the Outlaws are down to their last 45 minutes unless they can make some changes here. Spencer driving forward, trying to be that change right now.
Change your pace here, hopefully. Which one we lost first 7 hot.
Yeah. Yeah, and as we were saying, we were walking around a little bit in the crowd, and kind of the general consensus here at Bishop Healy Memorial Field was if the Outlaws can just put a chance or two away, it's a very different game, and I think we would kind of echo those sentiments as the home broadcast, JD. Great touch there from the Urakami and Mapome. That right side combination, the one that the Outlaws almost scored on right at the end of the half, JD looking to exploit it right away as that leads to a corner kick and maybe a dangerous set piece here for the Outlaws.
So there's our landlord with our ownership. Higher media blasting all our across the airways. So do Hotel, where our guests rest their champions, nutritionists, and power, and heroes off the sideline. Speaking of power, I'm right here drinking Powerade Zero. Looks very false creative.
Yeah. We just got to upgrade it from our water order, you could say, because water's going pretty fast today here at the stadium. Is very deep service, and fortunately another set piece that the Outlaws just waste, for lack of a better term. Definitely gets a shake of the head from Coach Trent.
Temperature has risen a bit, folks. Sorry about today's match at a pretty breezy 85 degrees Fahrenheit, 29.5 degrees Celsius for those West Indies, and we're now rising up to 87 Fahrenheit, 30.5 degrees Celsius for those of you outside the States here. Definitely getting a little hotter in both temperature and matchup here, Alex, as we get a little bit of opportunity on the left side. Dangerous. Cross in. What a save there. Warnock. Warnock's definitely been a pretty brave and bold goalkeeper today, Alex. As he needs to set up his probably big goal kick here.
Yeah, and as we were saying, it's something the later this game goes on, obviously with being a noon kickoff, the heat will kick in a little bit more, and it'll be very interesting how both teams manage the game. The Outlaws are going to have to push the tempo in about every way possible, while the Blue Greens might look to slow it down, but obviously it's a dangerous game when you're only up 1-0. Obviously, yeah, hanging on to that lead. So you'll probably see not much change. The Blue Greens will probably still want to attack, get that second goal, really kind of effectively really put a massive dent here in Siouxland's comeback plans. But then obviously from a basic standpoint, the Outlaws will have to push and get at least one to obviously change the result.
Managed to get that goal and reset to a nil-nil game here. All 5, yeah, into the stands. That was perfect. So should have the Outlaws going to have an opportunity up the right side here with a sheet.
Yeah, it's a strong start from the Outlaws this half, though, JD. They're really getting the ball forward, and that's what you got to do in situations like this.
Pass.
Second ball.
Just high. Pretty.
Yes, that one almost reached Hamilton Boulevard, unfortunately. And the Saturday daytime traffic with everyone out running their errands when they should be here supporting the Outlaws, JD. Where else would you want to be?
Sitting right stands. Possibly AC.
True. Yes, we got everything we need up here. Obviously, all the technology to hopefully not mess up anything we see there. Our Powerade bottles, our Powerade drinks, and obviously the cool, refreshing breeze of the great invention of air conditioning.
To us, apparently,
There's your Kushida trying to get in again. Is Outlaws really looking to push him forward? As definitely an offside call there. Is Seth Davison strays offside there?
I would so I'm second. Doctor once again Sasaki. Sasaki on 42 well, gives it up. More would be Foster. Foster would get the top of the swim. And of course, right as I say, side's not too Sasaki, but right side will carry some pressure from the Davidson.
Great ball forward. Numbers on here, JD. Urakami played it to Sakurai, excuse me. As those are the moments that the Outlaws have to take advantage of, JD. You know, they had a bunch of those in the first half, the two strikers combining. Um, Obviously it's something where, yeah, you got to take those chances when it gets that point.
Side, just line side, getting inside of the something real, right? Not something you really want to see, but it is not far off from what you hope for.
Yeah, I mean it's a good sign though, the Outlaws, but that's kind of been the trend of this game. The Outlaws have had the better chances, you know. The Blue Greens became very dangerous as the first half went on and took their biggest chance when they got it. The Outlaws haven't done that, and that's pretty much for lack of oversimplifying the game. That is the difference today is the goal scorer gets through there. Another hit. Great save by Foster. And a rebound by the Blue Greens, just as we were saying, and another dangerous chance going forward. And the Blue Greens capitalize. And it was just one of those situations. It looked just looked too easy through the center there on the Outlaws.
Second minute.
Now the Outlaws have left a lot of work to do as we go forward now. Yeah, as one of the assistant coaches runs to the locker room here. Looks like they let the substitutes for the Outlaws hang in the locker room a little bit more, but might be something where there might be some changes here coming pretty quick from the Outlaws.
So our last game we saw the usual names we start off with the game. Nato, Inagaki, Okawa, Espinosa, Cohen, Brown, and Davidson. They're usually out in the field at first, but today they're all of our subs for the Outlaws. So I imagine head coach Alex Trent probably going to want to make some of those substitutions now pretty soon as a Brown captain waiting for pitch off the head.
Yeah, now the Outlaws have really left it as you know, the crazy thing about this is the Outlaws have been undefeated at home this year and undefeated in the North Conference. You know, that's kind of the crazy thing. They have not lost yet this summer, and now they're really staring elimination in the face here with about probably 40 minutes or so when you include the stoppage time on the dot to salvage something.
So, Cruz. So those for the first time at home.
Yep, and
Not how you want to end your season.
definitely JD.
Accurate Foster had all the time in the world, no pressure. Set in, so it takes the sweet time around that. It's kind of cool to see that. That's big with the soccer clear across the pitch.
And I think the Outlaws just got to stay with it. They've had enough chances to, you know, be in this game, whether it's drawn, even down one goal. You know, they can't get discouraged here. It's great play from the Blue Greens to ride the challenge. As Blue Greens probably have a little gripe there from Kenny Verto-Dorius. Like he was getting grabbed the whole way there, and the referee said play on. You know, I kind of agree with him in that moment.
The comic was used out of the 2 credits. Sasaki.
And here comes some changes for the Outlaws, and it'll be interesting to see how Coach Trent tries to reshape this. Look like Spencer, or no, that's a left back. Sakaguchi got clipped there. Spencer with a great reaction. He can do this as well as play deeper, and dude is a professional at winning those little fouls here and getting his team out of pressure as Another smart play from Spencer. And once again, we had, what was it, about 5 or 6 of these free kicks in the first half, JD, that we just wasted, lofted in. Brave goalkeeping from Warnud came out and got it. But, I mean, yeah, it's one of those things you cannot waste these chances. It, and it honestly looks like these, sorry to interrupt you there, JD, the same 3 subs we saw Thursday night to kind of up the tempo are the same 3 subs coming in here shortly for the Outlaws in Naito, Ogawa, and it would be Inagaki, the live wire in the midfield. So interesting who comes off. I would imagine it would be Urakami, Sakurai, and one of the midfielders, maybe taking off someone who plays a little bit deeper, and that's exactly what Coach Trent is doing. Myler, who is playing in a deeper role, will be coming off and a little bit more attacking in the midfield there from the Outlaws. It might be something I would imagine instead of maybe a box in midfield, they're going to a diamond with just kind of Spencer at the base, and it definitely looks like they're doing that right now. As Mapome is going to go play central. It's more of their system they started with at the start of the year, JD, with sending another midfielder forward, but kind of got to do that in this situation.
Honestly, you should be a coach.
Yeah, you could say that I'm one in starting August 1st again. Dodged. The job never stops, JD. Yes.
Check you out next season.
Yeah, and it'll be referee plays a really good advantage there. Dangerous ball there for the Outlaws as Abdul gets bodied off it, and that did not look good how he landed there. Double whammy there as they concede the corner, but then also Abdul is down, which would be a massive loss.
And the crowd here looking for that foul.
And it looks like we'll try and get you the full list of changes in the way the Outlaws are shaping up. But yeah, he left. Looks like the coaching staff left on actually Urakami as well. It looks like Urakami's dropping deeper into midfield a little bit, and yeah, it's definitely as Inagaki here, a very dangerous player here on the ball. As Blue Greens do very well to body him off it. Sasaki looked to win on an adventure, and the Outlaws can't get caught out here. JD
Awesome.
crunching tackle.
We'll have sponsor us this season. As Robert Foster, we can have sit on the corner too. Right to his hands. And dollars.
And
Just getting angry there. I passed over and messed the ball way too hard and way too fast. There was absolutely no way that he would have around and made that intercept that pass complete.
Yeah, and it looks like it's something where the Outlaws, this is probably one of the most attacking lineups they've been able to put on, so they got to get careful that they don't get caught, but got to do it as a coach. As Foster almost reaches a great defending there from the Outlaws. And it actually looks like Naito's playing on the left side of a midfield diamond, and we've usually seen him play through the middle as a striker, so interesting adjustment there from Coach Trent, and, he pretty much got 3 strikers on the field, 3 attacking midfield options. Couple midfield options that are attacking. Spencer sitting at the base, but yeah, it's got to go for it in these situations, JD. Nothing left to lose.
The season all rests on this game right here. It's definitely not a good place to rest.
Oh, danger, play him. Oh, good defending there. Inagaki already trying to make an impact, and yeah, who's gonna be the hero today for the Outlaws to turn this around and put it in their favor? The only danger with this system is now you get very narrow in attack unless your outside backs can give the width, and that's something that might be a bit of an issue here in the Heat, JD.
Could be. Definitely be a moment for memories here. With whoever's able to goal change on his game of the Outlaws. So we'll get up here, Bush.
Ogawa. Yeah, and always you do got to remember it only takes a second to score, but yeah, the Outlaws have some things they got to sort out here quickly. Is left backs pushing very high here for the Outlaws as they're trying to get those numbers forward. They got to, if they're going to play the ball forward like this, you got to get those numbers up when the second ball as well as the first ball, JD. What they were doing so early on. So I definitely think they got to find Mapome, Inagaki in space and then create those overloads here, JD, because those two players can kind of create something out of nothing. As Blue Greens have been a very solid outfit today and great defending there from the Blue Greens as Captain Porter wins another foul. I think Porter's been fantastic today in the back for the Blue Greens, JD.
It's like a breath. Well, that is not two now. Right, two players who have been like kind of since also I think it's so it's this large Porter conference with some Porter deep midfield. Spencer wins it. So back all of that. This is kind of a this place touch. It was a soft team.
Might work out here though. Yeah, with some assists from the fourth official there helping out a center official since he had a great view of it, JD. As yeah, this middle part of the game has not been key to the outlaw or kind to the Outlaws, I would say.
Kind of my Saki.
Yeah.
Foster, deep in the pinch here. Dangerous opportunity with the down the as I heard it wrong, that's fine. Back in of eighth quarter.
Yep, the captain. And an illegal throw, something you cannot have at this stage. Just might as well hand him the ball. And it's just some uncharacteristic mistakes today from the Outlaws, JD, but fair credit to Duluth. They're putting the Outlaws in some tricky situations and causing them to do that.
This is not time to fold, folks. Outlaws on the field.
Good ball through there. Looks like he won him the Outlaws a corner, though.
Great thing. Rents will help us understand the buyer landlords and co ownership. Plans asset management. We're smart in investing in these outlaw hustle. Get Brandon defends the outfitting champions from Episode and Reds Printing, making it bold out always. It's now. Thank you, guys. We're sponsoring this season.
And right as we get ready to do this corner, we'll try and bring our good luck charm on very quick. Jesse Castillo, kind of get his thoughts on the game. We just spoke to Jesse the other night, and Jesse, kind of a different scoreline though this time when you're on versus last time as the dangerous corner comes in here. Good goalkeeping again. So what are your thoughts so far on today?
The game can sometimes just be brutal, but the reality of things is you get chances, you don't put them away.
Yep.
The other team hasn't had as many chances.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
See, we've had good chances in front of us, made some saves, but we haven't been able to put in the back of the net. So
Yeah, and yeah,
they had a couple chances, and they
yeah.
sometimes that lucky bounce saw the way it broke down.
Yep.
Play.
Oh yes. Yeah, yeah. These are the games that drive you nuts as a coach, right? Because you're like, we've played well, but fair credit to Duluth, they've took their two biggest chances, I would say, today, and now it's up. Yeah, it's the most important stat, right, Jesse? So, how's the crowd and everything out there today with the heat?
Great. It's quite hot out there.
Yep.
As an umbrella.
Yep.
Lucky out. It's kind of nice, but out there, and
Yes.
we sold out of water already, so we're
Yeah. Yeah, but we have capabilities. We've got some more water coming and whatnot, right? Yep, perfect. So yeah, if you do make your way out, the Outlaws still have the chance to make a good comeback, maybe force overtime and stuff. Make your way down to the field. Yeah, so obviously it's great to host a championship game here. There is a possibility if the Outlaws win, there could be another game here based on the way the bracket falls. So what would you say to people thinking about coming out, checking out the Outlaws or anything in the near future?
Soccer brands have out there. These boys put in a lot of time. Coach and staff, they invest quite a bit of morning exactly. They're out there in the community.
Yep.
It takes a lot of work. So I'm very proud of this, and we really do it for the community.
Yep.
Siouxland community, Siouxland soccer. Fine. So we're hoping that if we able to put one away again.
Here's a dangerous chance. Heck yeah. Well, here's your hopefully good luck charm. Inagaki whips it in a dangerous ball off the defender. It's in! Jesse Castillo on the broadcast works again for the Outlaws. And no, they are calling a foul. And it looked like I would assume from what I saw, they would have called the collision on the goalkeeper because I don't think it could have been offsides, Jesse, the way the play for yeah, it had to be the collision, and our excitement goes to waste as thought we had got one over the line. It did look like a little bit of a scramble in there, and you got to give the referee the benefit of the doubt, obviously, and you hope their keeper's okay, obviously.
Talk to the R1.
Yeah,
This something out.
yeah, yep, yep, yeah, yeah. Owner Adam Dean says, yeah, maybe we need some VAR out here. But yeah,
I didn't see the foul.
yeah, I did. Yes, yeah, we say that all the time on the broadcast, JD, that we are a little bit biased, and unfortunately for the Outlaws, it looks like that call will stand. There would have been a very, very big moment, very big moment. That could have turned the game here right before a potential water break. As he gives a conversation with the captain Abdul, and it looks like we'll play on. So yeah, unfortunately, but I will say But I will say, Jesse, that was the first time, Siouxland has had a lot of free kicks like that, I would say, but that's the first time it was actually driven in. The ones in the first half were like lofted in, easy for the keeper to come, as Foster playing with a little bit of fire there, but confidently does well. Um, and I think the Outlaws need more of that, more driven balls, more dangerous balls.
Test.
Yep.
Some of the calls haven't gone our way. Some of the bounces haven't gone our way. But if you're gonna be a champion and want to test your team, like now's the time to
Yep.
see what we're made of, right?
Yep. Life's about dealing with adversity, and it's a good lesson for the boys out there. Yep.
Can we talk?
Yeah. Yep.
Can one call in so we can change the
A- And yeah, me and you might have been in Dallas together, and we might have saw a Belgium-Senegal game when Senegal had a two-goal lead in the 85th minute, right, Jesse? And Belgium turned it around and was able to go play Spain in the next round tomorrow. Is Inagaki here? We'll let this attack play out and then let you get back to hyping up the stands.
chances?
Yep. Oh, ball.
That
Made some really attacking changes there before we got you up to the booth. Yep. It does look like Naito's playing a bit deeper in midfield here, so obviously you got three probably true strikers there on the field. But yeah, we definitely appreciate you coming up. I think later in the broadcast we might have Mike Wells, one of the other owners here of Siouxland United, come up for a little bit if we can get him on. But yeah, Jesse, we appreciate your time, and hopefully we have another chance to do this later in the year. And if not, we appreciate all you do for the community and Siouxland United. Yep.
time.
Yep.
Get this together. So thank you so much.
Appreciate it, my friend.
Much.
For sure.
Go Outlaws.
Go Outlaws. Thank you, Jesse. Now, and as I was saying, Jesse Castillo, a big voice of the Outlaws. You'll see him walking around any game day and everything wearing the bright orange Outlaws polo usually. So makes him easy to spot. Sometimes handing out waters if there's enough. Chilling in the AC a little bit to gather his thoughts right now. But JD, yeah, eventful moments we had while you were off the off the stream there. An almost goal from the Outlaws. And it's one of those situations. It's difficult for the referee. You got to you got to basically trust the referee. They got that right. They had a better view than us, but obviously as Outlaw fans, it's disappointing. Cutting the lead in half. Yeah, and it's one of those things. The Outlaws just got to respond. Like Jesse was saying, we've dealt with a lot of adversity today, but to be champions, you have to find a way through when things aren't going your way.
Like he said, as mentioned, 60th minute, 60, actually the 70th minute, excuse me, the second half. As Jesse said, a lot can happen. I think of the Egypt and Argentina game.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Yep. So we got the Senegal Belgium game where Belgium turned it around, Egypt, Argentina game. So yeah, it's not over till it's over. And we don't have Messi on our side, but we do have some talented players here for the Outlaws. I think that'll obviously help potentially give us those chances. And yeah, it just was a really deflating moment there, thinking you scored a goal, thinking you pushed one across the line, and just one of those days where the important bounces aren't going the Outlaws' way, but we'll get back to it. There should be, I would say, 4 or 5 minutes added time minimum at this point. So the Outlaws looking still at a good 25 minutes here to turn it around, JD.
But hopefully, I don't say anything sort of upsetting. And, honestly, I don't want. Obviously, we don't want to.
Got a music.
Him would be hopeful to outlaws go out, not like a whipper sort of had it to Belgium, but rather compared to like Argentina, giving it all they got and really winning over the hearts and minds of from everywhere in the world, but they're here in the Siouxland area. By the way, Jesse and I really looked that alike because we called him B a couple times while he was on.
Now, your names both start with J, and a lot was going up on here in the press box with the chaos of the almost goal. Some frustrated Outlaws supporters up here, and then obviously yeah, a little bit of chaos there. So I got off my game, so apologies. Like we say from day one, we're far from perfect, and both your names start with J. That's my only excuse. And you're both wearing orange. Yes. Definitely. And as Jesse was saying, we hope to be able to give you the opportunity to ramble on in a later round. The winner of this game will go play I believe it's a Golden Gate Conference out in California, potentially. Uh, Based on whoever wins from both matchups will determine the site. Yeah, like Jesse was saying, it's just the team's never been in this situation, so you got to see how they react as a team and as individuals at this point. Very, yeah, very very physical game, and I do want to reference the challenge that happened here on the near side when we got Jesse on between the captain Porter. It's good to see he's up and at it. There was a really hard tackle right when we put Jesse on. As you know, Jesse and I could sit here and talk about football and soccer all day. So I think he has more fun coming on than we do doing this every day, JD.
Have a lucky charm like that. I'm pretty sure consistently every time it's just not able to scored a goal.
Maybe we just need to have a third mic handy. Maybe that's something for year number 4 of the Outlaws we need to work on.
Nice to have one there.
Another lofted ball there. As I was saying to Jesse, the biggest difference between that free kick where we thought the Outlaws had pulled one back was it was actually a driven ball. It wasn't a lofted cross. And I think the Outlaws have had too many of those lofted balls in, too many of those ba- basically those ones that are easy for the goalkeeper to come and get, JD.
So, looking because okay. Well, the match was there's still plenty of time here for that loss too.
Great win by Sasaki. Can we take advantage? Yes, Inagaki and Mofome are attracting 2 to 3 players every time. The players around them and off of them got to move in those earlier moments. Got to unbalance the blue greens in those moments, JD, and that's how I think the Outlaws can get in. There's still plenty of time left, but with every passing second, it's more pressure and more pressure is heaped onto the home team.
Temperature rising metaphorically and literally.
Yeah. And as we were saying, the stats prove both these last couple matches, have ended in draws. So there's still, obviously that chance that this one ends in a draw and we're headed to extra time. But the Outlaws have to find something. It's great play from Sulemana. They're a very clever player, attracting half the Outlaws team, it appears. Still somehow gets out.
Alex, getting a little tie here. That's too many up there. 15 and a half. Something. Find something. You see, the stairs.
Yep, lots of work to do though, as the Outlaws got to retain possession and go forward here quickly. The longer the Blue Green sustain possession here, the more the momentum goes away from the Outlaws too. The Outlaws want to speed this game up. The Outlaws want to push. They need to push just as much as a want. Blue Greens will want to kind of take the sting out of it with letting the ball do the work of some of this, right? Dangerous chance here. Urakami, can he make up for those misses in the first half? Very clever player there with the way he plays with the ball. Kushida, I think, has been good at right back here for the Outlaws today. He's should be a couple interesting substitutions here. It looks like two more defensive options. This might just be something here as Yali Cohen and Xavier Davidson get ready to come in as well as number 23 for the Blue Greens. Looks like looks like the Outlaws are going more with the back three here, pushing another number forward. Almost attacking in a 3-2-5 system anymore with a back three of yep. Yeah, look, yeah, it looks like the Outlaws are lining up at a back three of Davidson, Abdul, and Sasaki pushing out to a left center back, more building in a 3-2 with Cohen and Spencer just feeding the ball into those attacking players. Look like a foul there as the referee says no.
Foul.
Referee wasn't having any of it, and much to the chagrin of the Outlaws supporters. Looks like Espinoza's getting ready for the Outlaws as well. Maybe another fresh-legged attacking player here to come in. Blue Greens.
Chance Rivero. Chance Rivero will take a spot. Oh, I can see the back jersey.
Number 8.
Taking the spot of Marcus Gomes.
And it looks like Espinoza for the Outlaws coming on from Mapome is. Mapome was dangerous in the first half. He did seem to lose his legs a little bit there as the match went on. As a great tackle there from the Blue Greens. Is that about found Naito on the backside there, JD? And and yeah, great ball in here. Davidson was great in the air the other night when he came on as and maybe that's something the Outlaws trying to look for more set pieces, get some more height on the field. Because the Outlaws have used all but one of their subs. It looks like they have one unused substitute now, so close to playing all the cards that they have. As looks like Naito got pushed off the ball. It appears it almost looks like an outright 3-2-5 that the Outlaws are just pushing numbers forward. But that's what you got to do in these situations, JD. As I would imagine, this is kind of the pattern you guys are going to see on the stream unfold the rest of the time. The Blue Greens defended deep, looking for these moments on the counter. Spencer slips. Blue Greens are in. Fostered around, and that is a killer third goal for the Outlaws' comeback hopes there, JD.
Scoring a second goal.
And that is a big dagger in the comeback plans of the Outlaws as with the second goal of the day, JD, and the disappointing and most frustrating thing is you feel for Jason Spencer in that moment. He's been fantastic for the Outlaws the last couple weeks, and that's one of those where the legs went and in probably the worst time. He's gonna probably hang his head about that, but he has nothing to hang his head about. It happens. It's unfortunate, but now the Outlaws got to move forward. You can't change the past. You can only learn from it, JD.
At one card, I entered specifically 9 dogs it down. Yeah. So pressure is on. One team goes home, one team moves on.
Yeah, there's a couple players down. Looks like that's Cohen for the Outlaws as the Blue Greens in again, and great defending there it looks like Xavier Davidson there defending in space. Great little play there from the Outlaws. These are the moments they got to go forward when, the Blue Green striker Davidson's out of the play or +1. Can you move forward and go? I mean, there is still time left. The Outlaws just got to find something. Class defending there from the Blue Greens, though, is Sulemano. So that's a yellow card. And that's going to be something you might see more of here as the game goes on. Some frustration from one or both of the sides. And moments like this are just going to allow the Blue Greens to continue to kill more time off that clock. And time is not what the Outlaws have here in this high noon conference championship showdown, JD. And yeah, just some uncharacteristic things today from the Outlaws, I would say, kind of led to this score line. And Blue Greens were clinical in their chances, and they're going to continue to do moments like this where they let the clock run, kind of manage the game. So
Want to see the outlaw fans. Nice look here.
yep, and can the Outlaws go? The Outlaws just got to play with some urgency. We've seen some great comebacks, been around the game long enough. You keep going till it's the last moment, and it's just kind of disappointing here to see how the game's unfolded.
This is the first two chances. Time to drive is now.
Hopefully that got a flick off the Blue Greens, but it doesn't appear it did. So the ball goes out here is. Yeah, and these moments right here, you got to squeeze the field forward. The Outlaws got to take risks, compact the space, win the ball, go directly to goal. There's the win. Can you break it down? And now we're out. Good. Now the coach in me's coming out as Naito here. And the touch had been long for Ogawa. And that little play right there kind of encapsulates the day. So many good things from the Outlaws in a lot of areas and facets of the game. But then it's that final ball, right? If you play that pass accurately, Ogawa's in, you have people going forward in the box. And, I think that if this result holds and the way this is trending, what I think will drive the coaching staff the most crazy in this moment is they had their chances win. And it's one of those things where, yeah, it's one of those situations, where we have, just some uncharacteristic mistakes today as Davidson will basically take the long throw here. Dangerous chance here from the Outlaws. Gets a flick on. A little bit tame effort there for Warner.
I'm trying to one on how works. Okay, a little more tandem.
Yeah, and it's kind of been the theme today. Some missed chances, some unlucky bounces, and at the worst time possible, JD. Another dangerous ball there. Foster does very well there. Ball eventually goes out of play. As you can definitely see and feel the frustration around Memorial Field right now. It's tangible, you could say, JD.
But we often put the option. Oh, by the way,
And as the ball kind of pings around in midfield, this is not what you want to see as the Outlaws fans. You got to get the ball forward. Great little play there from Inagaki. Yeah, Inagaki's been good since he's came on as well. It's just one of those moments where he just can't find the space. Is a wayward pass there from Cohen. This will suit the Blue Greens, this style of game right now, just playing on the counter with their athleticism up top, JD.
just capitalizing it on turn cross left off the head.
Another offsides call. Looks
We called offsides for the something in the audience reach with definitely around toss up in the box out sitting shoe room.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah, just the timing's just been off in the final third all day for the Outlaws, JD. Whatever it may be, whether it's an early run, a delayed pass, just those little moments that in a championship game just make all the difference. As Cohen's got to be careful there as he's already on a yellow going in late, and That's uh that's where the frustration might come in here the last few minutes, JD.
A little high five for the one color. All I got. Color. Cat or Super Bowl. Wilson.
Blue?
Apparently, apparently orange is the blue folks.
Yep.
It took a while since that box to the around. And on the right side, Outlaws pressure Cohen dancing with him.
Good little ball there from the Blue Greens, and it looks like Abdul was just gassed at the back. Yeah, and then well done there from Davidson. Good little win there from the Outlaws. Shouldn't be a foul on the Outlaws there. Thought the referee was about to blow, and thankfully he didn't. Is Cohen there?
Manuel Lorenzo should have left Robbie Cohen back there.
Yeah, and it's hard work now, JD. We've seen some crazy stuff in sports, but would be a epic, epic comeback if the Outlaws can do it. But they've proven they've been able to make some history before, so why not right now, JD?
Stoppage time, still down 3-0. The Blue Greens would be the first loss for the Outlaws at home this season. And what a devastating loss it would be.
Great little turn there from Urakami. Yeah, Urakami's had a good day working, but just hasn't found that final touch, that final ball, that final shot today, unfortunately, for the Outlaws, JD.
Final game of the conference or the playoffs, but Outlaw are going to finish here. Lorenzo for the pressure against the round. Carlos Carlos. Davidson on the fight loss.
Just a bit too narrow there from the Outlaws. Had no outball, JD.
Soccer. Lorenzo carrying it up. Side. New England attack. Potential cross. Off the right foot of Wiles. The Blue Greens
Once again, that final ball fails the Outlaws.
bringing ourselves all the way back with the captain. Captain was Davidson. Outlaws slowly walking up. Right there with him is Carlos.
Yeah, and this is a point you just got to take risks. You look, Davidson, just keep getting in the box. You're good in the header. Yep, go take that chance and see what we can make of it. And there's another final ball, final cross. It just hasn't been good enough, JD.
Side. We should look at kill that clock here against the 88th minute. So on two of the skillful stoppage time.
It's definitely crazy when scoreline isn't your favor. How quickly those minutes and seconds go, JD. Even even up here in the box, you feel it probably even crazier as a coach in these moments when the game's getting away from you, unfortunately. But yeah, it's even flying by for us here sitting in the box here at Memorial Field. Foster with a great ball. The Outlaws have to go now. Have to pretty much score with every chance they get. Got to be 3 for 3 this late.
Every outlaw just fall down flat on their face once that final whistle is blowing. That's how fast and how hard they should be playing if they don't have even a chance to score at least one goal here at Bishop Hill Memorial Field. Sun beating down, ringing around with Davidson by himself, acres of land, flips it over. That's Inagaki. Inagaki feeling a little bit pressure.
Switches on. Just another wayward diagonal pass. And that's kind of been the theme today, JD. It kind of reminds me of that Mexico England game where towards the end of the game, Mexico just kept whipping in the same balls over and over and couldn't get on the end of it. Um, th- yeah, this one's just a little bit more just wasteful, I think, in that final ball, JD. And the frustrating thing is you haven't seen this from the Outlaws all year, and I think that's what, the way this result's trending, I think will drive the players the most insane in the offseason, the coaching staff the most insane, because you're going to be asking the what if, right? You're going to be asking the what if, obviously, if we were better in those moments. But if we have substitution just now, JD, who do we have coming on off? Yep.
90th minute.
Looks like Wiles came off, who was very good at the back for the Blue Greens today. Admittedly, a very solid center back for them. Got to give some credit where credit's due. Blue Greens played a good game. Obviously as Outlaw supporters and fans, you gotta you got to perform when the moment comes to us. There's a little off the ball stuff that the referee looks to calm down.
Clinical shows here. Deep pass, middle.
Can the Outlaws get anything from this game? They cannot, as the shot goes wayward from Espinoza as he asks for deflection. Obviously, we'll defer to the referee's view in that moment since he was 5 yards away from it. We're good, probably 80 yards away, JD, 100.
It's over. Stoppage time, 5 minutes.
Well,
Spot.
that's a decent number for the Outlaws. They just got to work very quickly. Maybe a high kick there, referee. Thank you. I was
As one of our side doors open, and a lot of not family-friendly words. Sure.
Yep, as Outlaws got to go very quickly here. Only takes a second to score, but those seconds are fading away. Hit that NOS in the car to get that comeback going, JD.
Shine.
Yep.
It's all about fair.
Maybe they can do the one where the rocket ship's attached to the car. Come on, Outlaws.
Would be a honestly, if the Outlaws somehow stole the victory from the Blue Jays, it'd be a greater heist than the one in the Fast Five in Brazil.
Oh, that was a good one. Yep.
That's honestly one of my favorite shows.
Yeah. It's one of the better later ones. After that, they should have calmed down with the storylines, I think, but that's just my 2 cents. So, yeah. And speaking of the storyline today, the storyline is one is Outlaws fans and supporters we are probably not fans of right now. It's definitely a performance we did not see coming, but it's Blue Greens have taken their chances and they'll look to take a chance or worst case just kill the game here in the corner as Abdul just takes the shove right there as referee calmly just keeps his cards in his pocket there when he probably could have given him a yellow card, JD. Yeah, but what the Blue Greens will want is just another free kick. They can kill pretty much 45 seconds, a minute off of this 5 minute stoppage time, and you know take their trip back to Duluth with a championship. And as we were saying at the start of the broadcast, this has kind of been a growing rivalry so far in the NPSL North Conference. We must also remember the Outlaws are only in their third year ever as a club. They've already accomplished a lot, obviously. Year number 2, winning the postseason championship for the NPSL North Conference and having that opportunity to go compete. Last year and this year, obviously winning the regular season championship to kind of progress forward. Why we have home field today. But it's obviously going to be a bitter taste, not finishing the job today, but still got to also remember the progress. I always tell my teams at the end of the year, as for better or worse, it's, as a yellow card there for the Blue Greens. It looks like it's number 19, JD. Who do we got on that one? Sam Carles with the yellow card. And I was saying, though, there's only one team at the end of the year that really gets to be happy, right? The one team that wins it all. Everyone else is going to, in some matter of fact, always ask, what if, JD? So at the end of the day, it's disappointing, but, you got to learn from it. We got to move on and got to figure out, as Outlaws, how we can rectify some of the things that happened today. Dangerous ball in there. The Outlaws trying to get something to cheer about today as header goes over from Urakami it just hasn't clicked in the final third. Sorry, JD, as you were saying.
The 2026 NPSL North Conference champion would be named. One would stand and one would fade into the dust. And an Outlaw fan, it's very sad to see potential here as we are already deep in the stoppage time. It could be Outlaws.
And a hard challenge. There's Davidson lands hard on the turf.
My bad.
And the referee blows for the final whistle. As that is it. An unfortunate way for the Outlaws season to end, JD, in about every way as Duluth celebrates. And congrats to the Duluth Blue Greens on their NPSL North Conference championship. It's not always easy to go on the road and win in the postseason, and they proved today that that wasn't the case. They took fair credit to them. They took advantage of mistakes that the Outlaws made, capitalized on them, and it's still a good season for the Outlaws. But as I said, it would be something where you're always going to ask more. And yeah, it's one of those deals where, I think right now it hurts. It very much hurts. We've all been in those locker rooms. We've all been part of those programs where right now it's really going to sting for the Outlaws because you are going to ask what if, as I said the last few minutes. But, you'll look back on it. You'll see some success. You'll see some progress. The Outlaws are a young program, I think, with a very high ceiling. They have everything they need here in Sioux City, a great community, a great support, great coaching staff. And it's one of those deals where, you look for them to build and move forward. And in time, the evaluation will be good. But right now it does sting. But congrats to the Duluth Blue Greens. And that's all I have for this year. JD, you want to wrap it up? We thank everyone for tuning in and supporting Outlaw Soccer.
So good. It's really a big strong man. Experience on the woodland experience match. Traveling out here, we just seeing travels. I'd like to take you guys on Outlaws, family, friends, fans. Thank you for joining us here in the Siouxland area, here at Bishop Hill Memorial Field, and on our YouTube channel. As always, feel free to follow us on Instagram. Feel free to come out to the game next year. We'll be right here next year, I'm sure, and potentially we will potentially have some matches out here.
Yep.
Those. Other than that, thank you once again for joining us.
A little bittersweet signing off right now, JD.
Despite it's a shame to see the Outlaws fade away like this.
Yeah, but we do thank everyone for their support, all of our sponsors, all the fans that either watched the live stream, dealt with me and JD saying ridiculous stuff. Obviously, we appreciate it. All the support from our sponsors. Yeah, Mike Wells, obviously everyone that gives us the opportunity to bring Outlaws soccer to you, and we thank you for their time. We thank you for your energy, and hopefully we see you guys out here in the stands on the live stream next year. And we thank you. Have a good rest of your weekend, and go Outlaws.